Hey guys, I found some fake Mon art that was too good to pass up. I had to make a video and try to preserve this because I thought this was just so incredible. The concept behind this design is a colony of fire ants, which collectively take a form of a flaming monster. I think the artist specifically used Godzilla as a reference point. This thing, you can see it's shooting fire ants in the form of a fiery beam. It's got fire ant back plates. The fire ants even comprise what looks like an eye. I think this design is absolutely incredible. I'd love to see this in a future installment. This thing is reminiscent of Wishy-Washy, Slugma, Medcargo, Magmar. It's got some Typhlosion elements. I can see this creature having the schooling ability. This is the same ability that Wishy-Washy has. So maybe it has a base form and that is truly just a little fire ant. It could be like a little cute red fire ant, maybe some yellow highlights. And then what happens is when it enters battle, its schooling form activates, taking this form as the fiery Godzilla creature. So as this Pokemon reaches a certain amount of HP, it'll then go back into its base form as just the singular ant. The design concept for this Pokemon began as a colony of fire ants creating a mound that resembled a fireball. After some back and forth online, this design evolved into a much more compelling Pokemon design. Now the colony of fire ants looks a lot more like a fiery dragon shooting a beam. The beam being actual fire ants that's throwing and hurling off of its body into the enemy. We still need a name for this creature, so let me know in the comments what you think this thing could be called. I think it would be great if both of these were incorporated into the final design, whether they're both forms or maybe some sort of evolution. I don't think evolution would quite work, considering that the base form of this ant Pokemon would have to evolve itself. I think an interesting way to incorporate both of these designs would be to create a level specification in the ability of schooling. So in this case, maybe after level 20, or maybe up to level 20, the base form of this fire ant Pokemon would evolve or would change form to be more like a fireball. And then after level 20 or after level 40 or whatever level is designated, then this ant Pokemon, its final dragon form would be this Godzilla looking fire mound that we see. Someone in the thread mentioned Ant Beam being this Mon's signature attack. It's a generic enough name. I think it describes what the move actually is. The conversation was that this poke in its Godzilla form would be spewing members of the colony at the target, and that's the way it'll attack. So I think Ant Beam would be a fun signature move. It's 2020 and it's time that Vespiquen gives up its three very powerful signature moves: Attack Order, Defend Order, and Heal Order. Heal Order specifically, I think it'd be really great for this type of Pokemon to be able to reclaim its HP, especially because its ability is so directly tied to its HP. Some other fun moves that I think are appropriate for this poke: Dragon Breath, that high chance for paralysis, I think would be appropriate and just complements the fire ants, right? It's like you're throwing all those fire ants at the opponent. You're likely to get stung and you're likely to get paralyzed. Also, Dragon Dance. This thing looks like a dragon. I think it's appropriate to give it a lot of dragon type moves. Who doesn't like dragon types? Dragon Darts is Dragapult's signature ability. The description of the move says that the user shoots Dreepies at the target. I think in future generations, if this poke was to be introduced and it got this move, the flavor text could easily be edited and retconned to just say the user throws something at the target. In this case, it would be the fire ants. Last but not least, I like the move Beat Up. This was a move that I first learned about on Sneasel in Generation 2. It pretty much does damage for each party member you have. This Pokemon is obviously made up of hundreds of thousands, millions of ants. So I think hitting at least 6 times would, it can do that much. I've mentioned Wishy-Washy a few times. I really did use Wishy-Washy as a reference point. As far as stat distribution goes, I tweaked Wishy-Washy's existing base stat total and its stat distribution to accommodate this Pokemon a little bit more. So what I gave this Mon was 60 HP. I gave this 120 attack and 150 special attack. This Pokemon will be throwing beams, dragon beams, bug beams, fire beams at the opponent. I think it makes sense to specialize in special attack over physical. Its defenses are split 130, 130. I dropped its speed down to 20 points, which is very slow, but I don't think it matters. When you're below a certain range, I think it doesn't really matter what your speed is. You're gonna be slower than most things. If you're enjoying this content, please hit the subscribe button. I'd love to get a conversation going, whether it's in the comments or maybe on a live stream in the future. I'll see you guys in the next video.